welcome geometry students to class today on Tuesday the 30th. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're ready to learn some math today. Let's go ahead and get started right away with some announcements. There will be a quiz on Friday, so please make note of that. I will give you more definitions, or not definitions, I will give you more descriptions as to what will be on the quiz Thursday. So you'll know how to study for that quiz on Thursday night, but you will have a quiz on Friday. Go ahead and turn in yesterday's homework at this time, please. Yesterday's homework was page 110, numbers 1 through 5, and numbers 9 through 24, okay? So please go ahead and turn your homework in now at this time. Sarah, Brandon, Martinez, and Jabari, you guys already turned it in, so don't worry about turning that in, okay? Moving on, incompletes. Let's see what we have here for incompletes. Geometry Deck 2. Jaden, quiz by today, of course. I told you had yesterday or today to take it, so quiz by today will be a 0. Brandon and Jaden, you guys have to take a Chapter 2 test before the week is over, so please don't forget to do that. Chapter 2 test before the week is over, and that is it for the incompletes. All right, let's continue on. The schedule for today, we're going to do a little algebra review, which we do that occasionally. Okay, it will not be long, just probably 5 or 10 minutes, so a little algebra review. And then we're going to take notes today, and you will also have homework to do tonight, okay? Let's see, the lesson today is about perpendicular lines. Forgot the word lines there. And I think we're going to be looking, how's that for a southern word? Looking, there we go. We will be looking at, I think, 4 theorems. The video is 21 minutes and 55 seconds long, so not too bad actually, pretty short video. Your homework for tonight is page 117, numbers 2 through 14 and numbers 17 through 25, so please copy that down so you have that for tonight to work on. And then the homework help video is called lesson 3.2 homework, okay? Lesson 3.2 homework. All right, copy all that down. I'll pause just a second while you copy that down. And then we'll continue on. Okay, the video you need to watch today is called lesson 3.2. Okay, this is the 21 minute 55 second long video. The video you're going to watch today is called lesson 3.2. Before we do that though, let's go ahead and take a couple of minutes and do a little algebra review. Now, I want you to take notes on a clean sheet of paper. In fact, right now, go ahead and put your name on the clean sheet of paper so you don't forget to put your name on. Okay, so right now, please get out a clean sheet of paper, go ahead and put your name on it, and I want you to take notes on this clean sheet of paper. You will be turning these in when we're done taking notes today here in a couple minutes. And the reason I'm doing that, students, is I just want to make sure that all of you are doing this review and taking notes and not just daydreaming or not paying attention. I want you to really take notes on this and take advantage of this algebra review. Okay, so here we go. There are 3 main ways to solve a linear system, and those 3 methods are linear combination. You do not need to write this down, by the way, so do not write this down. Okay, no need to. There are 3 ways to solve a linear system: linear combination, substitution, and graphing. Okay, we're going to look at just one method today, and that's going to be the linear combination method. Okay, so let's quickly look at 3 problems, and then we'll be done. Okay, take some really good notes. Here we go. Go ahead and write this in your notes if you would, please. Copy this down in your notes. This is called a linear system. I'm going to pause for a second while you copy this down. 4x plus 3y equals 1, and 2x minus 3y equals 1. Now our goal, students, is to find an x value and a y value that satisfies both of these equations. In other words, it makes this equation here true, and it makes this equation here true also. Okay, now if you look at these 2 equations, we're going to go ahead and right off the bat, we're going to go ahead and combine these 2 equations. So take some notes on this, okay? I'll give you one more second to copy this down. 4x plus 3y equals 1, and 2x minus 3y equals 1. Now, students, we're going to go ahead and add these 2 equations together, okay? So watch what happens. Take some good notes on this, please. 4x plus 2x is 6x. These cancel out. A positive 3y and a negative 3y cancel out. and 1 plus 1 is 2. There we go, not too bad. Now, we're going to divide both sides by 6 to solve for x, and x equals 2 over 6, which is the same thing as 1/3. So there, I have my x value. Not too bad. Now, isn't that simple? Piece of cake. Add your two equations together and your y's cancel out. Now, if you're thinking, well, Mr. Earhart, what happens if your y's don't cancel out? Well, that's a good question, and we're going to look at problems like that in the next two in just a minute, okay? But now, here's what we need to do. We need to take 1/3 and put it back in for x over here so that we can solve for y. Now, a lot of students are like, well, Mr. Earhart, do you put 1/3 in for this x here, or do you put 1/3 in for this x here? And students, it really doesn't matter, okay? It doesn't matter at all, to be honest with you. So you can use either one of these two equations and you'll get the right answer, okay? I'm going to use the bottom equation for really no reason except I just feel like it, okay? So 2x, take some really good notes on this, please. 2x minus 3y equals 1. And really all of this should be review. I hope that it is, okay? 2 times 1/3 minus 3y equals 1. 2 times 1/3 would be 2/3. Minus 3y equals 1. Now bring the 2/3 over and make it a negative 2/3. And you're left with 3y equals... Now, students, listen. If you're not good with sign numbers, positive and negative numbers, or fractions, please learn to use your fraction button on your calculator. As sophomores and juniors, there's nothing wrong with that. And Mr. Hamill can show you probably, I would assume, how to use a fraction button on your calculator, okay? It's not that difficult to do. So, quite often the button looks like this, A, B, C, okay? But anyways, if you have one of those, you can just quickly type into your calculator 1 minus 2/3 and you'll get out 1/3, okay? 1 minus 2/3 is 1/3. Now, we're going to divide by 3 and divide by 3. Now these cancel and you're left with y equals. Now, and again, Mr. Hamill can help you, hopefully. If you have a fraction button on your calculator, all that you have to type in is 1/3 divided by 3. 1/3 divided by 3. And if you type in 1/3 divided by 3, you will get out 1/9. Okay? 1/9. And so there we go. 1/9. So the main thing I wanted you to see here is when you're solving a linear system, you can add the two equations together to get out another equation and then solve and go from there. Now, obviously this problem here worked out really nicely because we had a positive 3y and a negative 3y, okay? So what happens if that doesn't happen? All right? Well, go ahead and take notes on this problem. Please copy this in your notes if you would, please. Copy this down. If I get it to work here. All right, there we go. Go ahead and copy this in your notes, students, if you would, please. 2x minus 7y equals 1, and negative 3x plus 4y equals negative 8. Now, notice right now, students, if you added these two equations together, you would get a negative 1x and a negative 3y equals negative 7. Notice your x's nor your y's did not cancel out. So that's not going to help us a whole lot to do that, okay? So here's what I'm going to suggest to you. I'm going to suggest we either eliminate our x's or eliminate our y's. Now I notice I have a 2 and a 3 here, and one's positive and one's negative. Now if you wanted to eliminate your y, students, you could do that. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? But for me, 2 and 3 looks a little easier. I'm thinking, you know, what can I make the 2 and the 3 become? It has to be a number they both go into evenly. Well, how about 6? I could easily make a 2 become a 6 and a 3 become a 6 by multiplying the top equation and the bottom equation by a number. So I'm going to multiply my top equation by 3. Why 3? Because that will give me a 6 right here. So 3 times 2 is 6x, 3 times 7 is negative 21, and 3 times 1 is 3. Now again, I'm not really teaching this, I'm just reviewing this. You should have had this already in Algebra 1 and Algebra 2, okay? Now for the bottom equation, I already have a 6 right here, so I really want to have a negative 6 right here, okay? So if I take the bottom equation here and multiply by 2, 2 times negative 3 would be a negative 6. 2 times 4 would be a positive 8. And 2 times negative 8 would be a negative 16. Okay? Now, let's go ahead and add these two equations together. Notice your x's cancel. Negative 21 and a positive 8 would be a negative 13y. And 3 minus 16 would be a negative 13. So thankfully on this problem here we get a nice whole number out. We're going to divide by negative 13. Divide by negative 13. Cancel, and a negative divided by a negative is a positive. 13 over 13 is 1. So I found my y value. Now I have to find my x value. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back up here into one of my equations, and where there's a y, I'm going to substitute 1. Now, listen to me, students. You can put 1 in for y here, or here, or here, or here. It doesn't matter. You'll get the right answer no matter what, okay? But I'm going to use this equation here because I have some room underneath it to do work, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and put negative 3x plus 4, and then where the y is, I'm going to put 1 equals negative 8. And let's see what happens here. Negative 3x, 4 times 1 is 4, equals a negative 8. Bring the 4 over and make it a negative 4, so negative 3x equals a negative 12. And then divide both sides by a negative 3. These will cancel, and x equals 4. So you really should write your answer like this. I did not show this to you in the last problem, but really you should write your answer like an ordered pair. You put your x value first, and then your y value second. And there's your answer, 4, 1, okay? Please take some really good notes on this. I'm going to do one more problem, and that's it. One more, okay? And I'm going to go pretty fast on this one, so here we go. Okay, here's the problem. You can work at it or you can watch me. It's up to you. I'm going to eliminate my x's. And the reason I'm choosing my x's is because one is positive and one's negative, so that makes it a little easier. Okay, plus 3 and 4, that's going to be really easy to make those numbers there become 12 and negative 12. So I'm going to multiply the top equation by 4. That'll give me a positive 12x. And I'm going to multiply the bottom equation by 3. Because 3 times negative 4 will give me a negative 12x. So the top equation, 4 times 3 is 12x, 4 times 5 is 20y, and 4 times 6 is 24. All right. Now take the 3 and multiply it through. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12x, 3 times 2 is 6, and 3 times 5 is 15. All right. So let's see what happens here. These will cancel. And I'm left with 26 equals 39. Let's divide both sides by 26. And I wonder if I made a mistake somewhere. It's a pretty weird fraction to get out. 12, 20, 24. 12, 6, 15. Looks pretty good. Okay, that's fine. Will be a little extra work for us, but that's okay. So no number goes into 39 and 26, so we cannot reduce the fraction. Well, that's not true. Sorry about that. Let's see what goes into it. 13. 13 goes into both of these numbers, so your 26's cancel. And 39 over 26 reduces. 13 goes into 39 3 times, and 13 goes into 26 2 times. So there's your answer for y, 3 halves. Okay, now we're going to substitute 3 halves in for y. We can do that here, 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 or here. Of course, I'm going to do it here, so I have room to work underneath it. So here we go. Negative 4x plus 2 times 3 halves equals 5. And then negative 4x, 2 times 3 halves. Use your calculator, or you can put 2 over 1, and then your 2's will cancel. And you can see you're left with 3. Okay? Then bring your 3 over and make it a negative 3. And you're left with negative 4x equals 2. Okay? 5 minus 3 is 2. And then divide by negative 4. Divide by negative 4. These cancel. And 2 divided by negative 4 is a negative 1/2. If you reduce 2 over 4, you will get a negative 1/2. Okay, so really you should write your answer like this: negative 1/2 comma 3 halves. Okay, all right. Go ahead and turn in your notes that you've taken in class, please. At this time, make sure your name is on top of your paper. Go ahead and turn that in. Start the video, lesson 3.2. Have a good day, and contact me if you have any questions.